the billionaire's lips on the people's ass this Thursday. What would you do to keep your job? I'm John Renton with the Retro Review of WWE Raw from December 3rd, 2001. But seriously, if you had to kiss somebody's ass, would you be able to do it to keep your job? Well, we find out this Thursday. But before this Thursday, we gotta talk about this Raw where my fucking goodness was all about ass kissing and hype for Vengeance, because this was the go home Raw for Vengeance. WWE Vengeance. Just a few more shows until I'm done with this marathon odyssey of retro reviewing all this WWE programming. Hey, speaking of jobs, let's talk about this. Let me ask you this, because you haven't appeared on camera lately. What would you see? You don't have to kiss ass to keep your job. You get whatever you want. You're the producer of the show. You run this show, yet you don't want to be on camera. So I have to ask a question. What do you think he would do to keep his job? All he gets is chicken and turkey and canned food, and you are going to absolutely murder me with like just scratches and everything unless I give you chin scritches and everything. And why am I bringing the producer on here? Because you guys demand that the producer be here. Hi. Are you trying to hunt birds out there? You can't hunt birds unless you go outside, and you can't go outside until I'm doing this video. It's a closed set. So you agree, hey, I'm talking to you. You agree that Ric Flair did the right thing by making it so ass kissing was going to be like a mandatory thing regardless? Why are you so angry with me all the time? People love you. Anyway, so enjoy the cattail. So, yes, this is from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, not Green Bay, Wisconsin. And JR and King on the call, and Jericho comes out to a chorus of boos. The boos of Jericho. Not to be confused with the booze that Jericho drinks now. And he will become the first ever undisputed champion, larger than life. The same old shtick. So, talks about how Austin Rocker's scared of him, larger than life, all that. And then Flair shows up and pumps him up and says, "What should I call you? Mr. Jericho." You can refer to me as Mr. Benjamin. Remember those Shelton Benjamin vignettes that went absolutely nowhere because he basically was just pretty much the same guy when he came back from that injury in 2004? So, it's you versus Stone Cold, non-title and no interference. No time limit, anything goes. Wait, no, it's just no non-title and no interference. So, it's Kane versus Bubba Ray Dudley with Devon and Stacy, Vengeance hype. And this is because Kane and Big Show are going to be facing off against the Dudleys at Vengeance for the WWE Tag Team Championships. And I'm just going to spoil it right now because fuck you, and also the pay-per-view is nearly 20 goddamn years old. I'm sorry. Kane and Big Show didn't win. Why? Well, I mean, why the fuck would you have a dominant team win when it's just two unlikely, people? Can they get along? Why would you have them win the tag titles? Vince McMahon never does that much, except all the time. And then times infinity. So, big man battle. There was a numbers game because Bubba is a pretty big guy. He also has a pretty large ego, thinking that he was any better than an actual tag team wrestler. Though he was a singles competitor at, one of the worst ratings times for TNA until Dixie pretty much finished it off. So, that being said, there was a flying clothesline, interference that backfires horribly, chokeslam 1, 2, 3, and then a 3D afterwards, because why the fuck not? Big Show shows up not a moment too late and hits a chokeslam on, Devon, because why the fuck not? So Vince is talking on the phone with Taker and says, "Oh, just be at Vengeance." "Oh, no, it's all right. No, it's fine. Such good shit, pal. Ha, ha, ha." So anyway, Angle shows up and basically keeps recounting what happened last week and keeps hammering it and says, "Well, Vince, you're not going to be humiliated again because I have a plan." And then before we find out what that plan is, we have Albert with Scotty 2 Hotty. Scotty on commentary, by the way, because Scotty doesn't know when he's in a bad tag team. Except I'm even thinking that he knew that him and Albert were probably not a very good tag team. They were just a team for no fucking reason. Albert took on Test. TNA explodes. You have to pay extra for that usually, and it leads to a lot of medical issues, and let's just move on. Always delete your search history. So, King talks about Scotty's worm. Scotty tries to help. We get a scissors kick for 2. We get a few near falls. We get a chair to the head while the referee's distracted. And Baldo Bomb 1, 2, 3. There you go. That's your lot right there. So RVD's being interviewed. Christian shows up and Talks about, how, oh, you think you're better than The Undertaker, all about respect. Give a little respect. It's an erasure measurement, if you will. That was really hard to come up with. And you waltz in on your high horse. Aha, I did indeed see what you did there. And he says, why don't I see if, I'm better than you tonight? It's going to be for the hardcore title. And he says, hey, what's, you know nothing about Europeans, or Europe or whatever. What's the capital of Belgium? He says, waffle. It's goddamn RVD, because he's always thinking about food, because he's always high as fuck. Anyway, that was pretty much just a little bit of comedy to get us to The Rock, who is being talked to by Trish, and Trish wants to thank him for preventing her from having to get on her knees in front of Vince and kiss his ass. Probably shouldn't have paused right there, but I'm just going to let that image sit right there with you, because if I have to picture this, don't ask me why, then so do all of you people. She kisses him on the cheek, and then Rock kisses her, and does the people's eyebrow afterwards. It pays to be The Rock. So anyway, literally, because the man has more money than 5 federal governments put together now as one of the biggest stars in Hollywood. And we then get the Hardys with Lita taking on Tajiri, and Spike with Tori Wilson. So basically, can the Hardys get along? No, not really. Matt misses the leg drop at the end, and then Jeff had hit the blind tag and did a swanton 1, 2, 3. Now Matt's upset. And then Regal is mocked by the APA for kissing Vince's ass, so basically they're going to have a fight later. Well, Bradshaw and Regal, because why not? Matt and Jeff are upset, and Lita gets shoved down. And then Matt says, you should be taking my side because you love me. You love me, don't you? Wait, that's Stone Cold Steve Austin. And Deborah, I'm sorry. And Matt tells her, prove your love to me, be the referee at Vengeance, and we'll see whose side she's on. Stone Cold took on Jericho in a pretty good match that it was fine for TV. I mean, it wasn't like the best, but it was nice to see the star power out there. Austin did glom him for a while. Jericho did eventually take over with a lot of shoulder focus to take away the stunner. But eventually, after missing the lionsault, landing on his feet, miscue, stunner, 1, 2, 3, and there you go, right in the middle of the ring. And then he's got a beer celebration and everything. And then we get to the stereotypical stuff they start doing with Booker T, where he hotwires Stone Cold Steve Austin's truck. Could have just gone in the locker room and got the keys, but whatever. Let's do a stereotype of an African-American man hotwiring a truck and stealing it. Because why not? Good thing that's the only stereotype thing that they would put. Oh, right. Someone like you will never be champion. People like you are here to make people like me laugh. So anyway, then apparently Austin commandeered another vehicle to go chase after Booker T for hot wiring his truck. And King actually said, can you imagine Booker T knowing how to hot wire a truck? Thanks, King. Thanks, we know how you feel. So, here's Angle and Vince. What's the plan? What's the word? Or it's like, what's the story? Morning Glory. What's the word? Hummingbird. What's the plan? The Angle clan. Ooh, should have thought about that one a little bit right there. And they what him to death. I mean, literally to death. And, they show the footage of Vince with his pants around his ankles. And he wants Rock to apologize. They want Rock to apologize. Rock comes out. He will not apologize. You're going to kiss the people's ass, basically. And just in case, or it's like, I just wanted to see. Watching Vince walk around with his pants around his ankle was good humiliation. That's basically what it was. It was, because why the hell not? It was a great way, and it proves that Vince is a freak. Of course, then Angle says, just because Vince walks around with his pants around his ankle doesn't make him a freak. So, then Vince says, well, Rock will have to fight a tag team, and I don't want to make it unfair, so your tag team partner will be Trish Stratus, and when you lose, you'll have to kiss my ass by Thursday, or you'll be stripped of the World Championship. Ric Flair comes out and says, okay, that's fine, but if you lose, then Vince, you have to kiss the Rock's ass by Thursday, or Angle is stripped of his shot. There you go. Pretty much right there. What would you do to keep your title shot? So, RVD took on Christian. Christian, at last, he got beat with, a couple chair shots and a 5-star frog splash. Not a bad match. Not great. Regal took on Bradshaw in a match that took longer for me to say those names than it actually took to exist. Bradshaw clubbed him, but then a referee distraction, a referee was out of position, brass knuck shot, and 1, 2, 3. There you go. Bradshaw would be WWE champion 3 years after this. I don't know why that blew my mind. Well, he would be in the midst of a nearly 10-month-long title reign. And then Taz is in WWE New York talking, speaking down to Regal and everything, obviously looking at a monitor, and says, Edge is supposed to be here, but where's Edge? Where's Edge? Oh, there's Edge. He spears him on the stage. Regal, not Taz. That would have been weird. And attacks him. That's going to lead to a match at Vengeance. And then Kurt, he's a little bit worried about the main event because he's like, wait a second, if we somehow lose and you don't kiss Rock's ass, then, well, that's not going to happen, but then I'll lose my shot. So Angle and Vince took on Rock and Trish, and basically it was serious with Rock and Angle, and Trish got in her shots on Vince, and it was funny, just Vince comically selling, just, oh, such good shit. A dirty blonde pounding me, pal. Such good shit. Ha ha ha. So anyway, there was a referee bump. Jericho interferes by hitting a lion salt, and then Vince chases Trish to the backstage, and then Austin's like, what? And that did not look like he was fisting him. Gross. And what ends up happening is he beats up on Vince, and Hotshots Angle on the ropes, and rock bottom, 1, 2, 3, and Vince is all upset. What the hell are you doing, pal? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? Ha ha ha. Anyway, 1 second. So for a final thing. You were trying to back up Vince because you didn't want Vince McMahon. You like Vince. You don't like the Vince impression. He wanted Vince to win. Show's 20 years old, sir. You weren't even alive yet. Anyway, agree, disagree with what I said. Like, share, subscribe. Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritland. This is the producer. And we'll see you soon. Cattail.